Hey, what's up, guys? I'll be right with you guys. I'm just jamming a piece of pizza down my throat, having some lunch. Hey, Marcus. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Let me see something here. See if I could find this. So I have a race coming up later this month out at Bowling Green, the Kilbasa Raceway out there. Dan has 3 tracks out in his awesome clubhouse, man cave, whatever you want to call it. But I'm trying to find a picture of the tracks. I wonder why I'm looking in the wrong spot. Hey, Rich. All right, let me move these cars out of the way. So this is a picture of the room and the 3 tracks I'm going to be racing at. See something here. So they announced the car. Okay, so here's the tracks. So this track called El Nino. They're all 4x16 tracks. Hey, look at who's that guy there. That was the last time I went out there in November. They took some pictures. So that's the El Nino. Nino. This one is the Venom. That's a cool track. We didn't get to run any races on that track the last time because the timing system wasn't working, if I remember correctly. And they call this the TC's Swamp Raceway. This pretty much has no straightaways really. It's all curves, custom routed track. So they're going to be running certain classes. I think, forget which. Let's see. So El Nino, they're gonna do Super Stock, the Venom Spec Racer, and the Swamp for everything else. So my ceramic Super Stock car, this is my Fusion ceramic Super Stock. This is my Viper Super Stock. I have some new tires I ordered for this to get this car a little bit lower because right now I'm definitely going to be running my Fusions. So the Fusion is going to be on the Venom, which is, I'm sorry, the Super Stock class is going to be on this track. So I'm going to be running the ceramic magnets, silly sponge tires, 6 ohm hot stock armature, and 722 gearing in this particular car. Gonna see what I could do on that track. The Spec Racer class is going to be run on this track, so I'm going to be running probably my Wizard Fusion car. This is also a hot stock 6 ohm armature, C4 magnet package, which is equivalent to like Viper's Pro 4 magnets. This is running silicone slip-on tires, 723 gear ratio in this class. This is my Viper Spec Racer. This car runs real good. These two cars are really close, so I'm going to switch over to the track and do some laps and kind of decide. I think at the end of the day, it's still going to be the Fusion at race day, but we'll see. The other two classes that they're running are box stock. So in the box stock class, I'm going to be running this Tommy Turbo SRT. The only thing you're allowed to do to box stock, and yep, I'm going to run this nice red GT40. I'm sure a number of you guys know how much this body's worth. The only thing you could do to this car is you could change the hubs and tires, but the axle, gears, motor magnets, traction magnets, electrical, front tires, front hubs, everything else has to be stock. So I'm going to be running that car. And they're also running a IROC race where they'll provide cars. So those are the four races they're going to be doing that day. I thought they were going to do spec stock class, which I built this car for. Well, actually, I was going to run the red GT40 on this class, but they didn't list that on the Facebook update that they did. Although they did say the classes could change based on what people show up with. But so I have that car if we do end up running that class as well. So yeah, those are the 3 tracks. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a pretty good amount of people out there. Let me get back to this. All right, so you guys don't want to see me looking at the chat. Oh, by the way, I did rebuild this Ghost Cat car with new springs and brushes, and it runs better, but it's still it's still just not as good as my Fusions. It's just not as fast. I don't know. I still got to play around with that some more. I could show you guys that if you want to see some laps with the Ghost Cat as well. So I've been working on these cars, tweaking them. I actually got some parts on order. I have some more Silly Sponge tires coming. These are getting a little worn on my Fusion. I actually bought this car used and it came with these tires. They were already a little bit worn. But this car runs really, really nice, really smooth. And my Spec Racer Fusion is a real good running car too. I mean, they all run good, but so yeah. So I've been kind of playing around with different tires. I have some more hubs and tires on order for my Spec Racer class cars. The what are they? The hubs that were on this car, they were Quicker Engineering. I might try and glue this, although I ordered several pairs of these hubs. I just really like these hubs, but one of the, is it this one? One of the rear flanges, yeah, this one. This rear flange actually broke from too much of my quality driving, crashing the car, I guess. And the car started not handling well, and I realized when I was spinning it, the tire was wobbly. So I probably could glue this actually. It's still intact. I might try and put a little dab of crazy glue and see if I could bring that back to life. But these are, I believe these are .250, and they were running these gray tires. This is how I got the car. I didn't build this particular Spec Racer. This was my very first Fusion. I had Steven Crossland from Rooster Racing build me this car, and he did a great job. This car is very competitive. I ran this at the Vero event and came in 5th place in the Spec Racer class, and I probably could have made 3rd place if I didn't have, I had one bad heat, which kind of took me out of the podium. But these tires are getting kind of chewed up, so, and since the hub was broken, I put some Viper hubs on here, and I put some purple RPM tires on here, and the car runs okay with that setup, but these tires just are a little bit better. The car, I noticed the car was de-slotting a little bit with the purple RPM tires, these particular tires, where it wasn't with these and with those other hubs that were on the car. So when I switched to the Viper hubs and the purple tires, I don't know, the car lost a little bit of its handling. So I ordered some more of these hubs and some more of these tires from Steven at Rooster Racing. And I'm going to get this car back to how it was configured when I bought it from him. All right, so what I thought I would do, unless you guys have any questions or want to see anything in particular on the cars, I'm going to go ahead and move the camera over to the track, and I'm just going to run some laps. I want to see what I could do with these cars and kind of make my decision. I think I've already made my decisions as to what I'm going to race, but I just want to practice as much as I can with these cars and get ready for the 20th. Oh yeah, you'll love those cars, Slot Car Frank, or can I call you Frank? Yeah, when you run that modified, you're actually I have a whole drawer of modifieds here. I've since modified my modifieds a little bit. I put independent front end on the car, and I put a little bit lower profile albino tires. But I could show you how the modifieds run on my track if you want to see them. They're quite a upgrade, going from a 6 ohm in the V1 to a 3 ohm arm in the modified. Yeah, quite a difference in the performance and speed. Plus, it's a Pro 10 magnet package car, motor and traction magnets on the modified, so a lot more downforce. Let's see if I can get this track in view here. Try and run some times. I don't know, is that a good enough view? Hey Chris, how's it going? Plowing. Oh, yeah. I don't miss the snow. All right, so let me get all the cars that we're gonna run here. Oh. All right, I'm gonna run my Viper. This is my Viper Spec Racer class car. I'm gonna run the Viper Spec Racer and my Fusion Spec Racer, and just kind of, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm set on the Fusion, but I've been tweaking this Viper and I've got it running pretty good, but I still think it's a little behind the Fusion in the handling department. I'm gonna run on the blue lane. All right, so I just did 11 laps. Didn't have any D slots. 2.64 was my best lap time with 2.8 second median time. That's pretty good numbers. Let me see what I could do with my Fusion Spec Racer. All right. Let me reset the lap count here. Whoa. Already have a D slot with my Fusion. Surprising. just not running as good as it used to with those different hubs. Similar times, 2.9 median, 2.68. So I did better with the Viper actually. I might have to reevaluate which car I want to use on race day. I didn't have any D slots with this car. Although I want to get this car back to the hubs that I had on it before and a better pair of tires. So after I do that, I'll reevaluate which spec racer. The ceramic super stock with the silly sponge tires is not even really close. This is my Viper. It runs okay, but these tires, I need to definitely get the car a little bit lower. My Fusion definitely handles better than this car. But we'll run some laps with it just so you can kind of see. Whoa! See, there it goes. On the floor. Now I am pushing these cars harder than I would if I was racing. Man, it does not like that turn right there. So 3-1 was the best lap. I only did 5 laps with it, but you'll see when I run the Fusion Spec Racer, I'm sorry, Fusion Superstock. This is a ceramic Fusion. How this car handles. This thing is like whisper quiet, and it just stays on the track. Yeah, I really like this car. This car handles like a dream. The super stocks are not quite as fast as the Spec Racer because the magnets aren't as strong. But I had a median lap of 2.86, best lap of 2.7, and I could push this car harder, but no D slots. So. Hey, Mayor, how's it going? How's that snow shoveling doing? This is the Ghost Cat car. I'll run some laps with it. still doesn't have the top end that the Viper or Fusion cars have. Actually, hold on. I forgot to reset the time here. That was 11, and the last lap I did a 2:99, so barely breaking into the under 3 seconds with this Ghost Cat car. I don't know if it's just my build, that just this car is just not as fast as it should be. I guess more work needs to be done on this Ghost Cat car. This is my Tommy Turbo box stock car that I'm going to run. This car actually runs pretty good. Actually, hold on. I mean, obviously it's mostly stock. It's not meant to compete in spec racer or super stock class. But for a car that's, I don't know, how old is this car? 30 plus years old, maybe older. 40. Did a 3.4 second. Not too bad. Oh, we lost the body. That's not good. That wouldn't be good on race day. That would definitely be costing me some laps if the lane mark. Oh, the axle popped out. So yeah, you can't pin the axle either. So you really don't want to crash these cars too hard. Hey Matt, hey Adam, sorry, you guys came in earlier. If you're still on. Alright Frank, this is the Viper modified. So this is what you'll be getting yourself into. 2.5 seconds. They are definitely quick. They handle great. They got really strong magnets. So, are you going to be running this on a plastic like AFX type track, I assume? Hey you guys hear me if I'm all the way across the room here and the camera's down by the track? Because I'm using the mic that's built into the phone. Alright, cool. Cool. So this car is pretty quick. This is the car I bought off of Dan from Slot Valley Racing. I bought his Viper Polymod and he had a production modified. And I just recently rebuilt this. He had a lifelike body clip on it. It didn't have the Lexan post. So I bought a new firm chassis from Viper and I transplanted. This has a 2.5 ohm wide gap high temperature armature. I also put an independent aluminum front end on it. This has 722 gearing, and I put I think these are 434 or 436 albino tires, and as you can see, this thing was flying. I just did a 2.3 second lap, and this is a Pro 10 motor and traction magnet car. It runs pretty darn good. Pretty happy with it. This could actually run in like modified or CMPM class. Although the group I race with, they don't race anything above like spec racer or super stock. They stick with the 6 ohm class cars. They don't do any of the lower ohm super fast cars. Pretty happy with how that runs though. You know, I really do like this OS3 controller. I like the wiperless. I love the smoothness of it. I like the traction control feature that I've been, the coast feature on this controller. Yeah, I've adjusted to it and gotten used to it well. I think I'm gonna use this on race day and see how I do. I'm gonna bring my DeFalco with me just in case, but they're very close. I mean, I did a lot of comparisons running the same cars with both the DeFalco and the OS3, and I would say I did slightly better with the OS3. So it's not a huge difference, but I do like that coast feature, which I don't have on the DeFalco. And speaking of the OS3, I think I'm getting fairly close to 1,000. I'm almost at 900 subscribers. So I've been thinking about doing a giveaway when I reach 1,000. And I think I'm going to buy an OS3 Lite controller. I'm going to do a review on that and compare the OS3 Lite to my DeFalco 505s. And then I think I'm going to give away the OS3 Lite as part of my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I think we're going to build another Viper. Actually, I was just talking with Steven Crossland from Rooster Racing, and he's going to sponsor my giveaway build again. So he's sending me for free a hot stock armature for the car and some other parts I need to build another Viper. So I'm going to do that for once I reach 1,000 subs. Those will be my giveaways for you guys. Go back to my Fusion Spec Racer. Run some laps on the white lane. Yeah, see that white lane a little bit tighter on that turn. see how my fusion does on the white lane. That was a good lap, 2.6. Come on. And it's too strong for my magnet. See if I can get it with the old grabber. A Super 3? I do have a Super 3. You want to see a Super 3? This is my one and only Super 3. As you guys well know, my documented pit kit, white body. Though I did glue that bracket, that clip, I believe. Oh no, I didn't glue it actually. I kept saying I was gonna glue it, but I never did, so it still pops right off. Let's see what kind of times we get with a Super 3. 5 seconds. 4.7. Oh, 4.5. We're getting down there now. It runs fine. my Fusion spec racer again. Starting to get comfortable again with this car. Not bad. My track's probably a little bit slick. I did just clean it yesterday, and I used some WD-40 on it. Tried to wipe it down as good as possible, but it takes a good number of laps to really get it to, not be slippery anymore. I know a lot of guys don't like to use the WD-40, but it just does a really good job of cleaning this white Viper track. So every now and then I like to use the WD-40, and plus it helps condition and protect the rails too. Two. Let's do some drifting with the TFX OS3. These cars are fun. Alright, let's see, there we go. We do some 360s. See if I can do a 360 around this turn right here. God, I took it too hard. I prefer these OS3s to my dash chassis. I don't know. They're a little smoother and faster and handle better to me. Yeah, I'm doing practice mode with the TrackMate system that I have on my track. I can show you guys real quick. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys the. but this gives me my number of laps, the current lap time, the median or the average of the 57 laps I've done on the white lane. I had a median of 3.18 and a best lap of 2.72. And if you want to reset that, you can just click on the best lap time, and you could reset everything. And then once you pass through the timing system, it resets the lap number 2. So now we're back to 0. Let's see how long it takes for this OS3 car to do a lap. 9.5 seconds. 9.3 seconds. Yeah, I don't know that I would ever take. I actually almost did buy a Frey car just to play around with it. One that somebody had already built per all the crazy rules for the Frey cars. There's quite a lot of things you got to do to make it an actual legal car. Only bad thing about using paper towel is it comes off all. It takes me forever to get it out of the slots. But I've watched some of those Frey races on YouTube. It is pretty cool what those cars can do. Let's see, run my. Anything you guys want to see me run? Anything in particular? I'm just going to keep playing with my cars that I'm going to run on race day.
Yellow flag.
A chicken enclosure. How many chickens do you have, Matt? I could safely say I don't think you'll ever hear me say I am building a chicken enclosure. Those are probably some words that will never come out of my mouth.
Go.
There's something I've been putting off doing that I think I'm gonna do, but where I have my track table, where the track table, you know, if I had to do over again with this track, there's some things I would do differently. I thought I was being clever where my tables join together. I thought maybe for whatever reason I might need to take the track apart, and I thought putting the seams where my rails are not continuous along the seam of the table. Well, that was not really a smart thing. If I had to do it over again, I would have continuous rails because this is where the table's the most unlevel, and you could hear like it's not perfectly smooth. So I have joints here, here, and there. And I've been playing around with the other day. I took the table apart and was adjusting it, but I think I actually made it a little worse on that far connection. So, and even here, right down here, I can feel a pretty good lump, though it's going down at least because the car is going this way. But certain cars, especially my lower cars, it's more noticeable. You could hear a click. But if I had to do over again, I would not have put the connections. Although it still might have clicked because the seams are not. I don't think it's so much the rails. I think it's really more the where the track's not level. I had leveled these off when I first laid the track down, but I don't know, over time, things shifting and stuff, but it's a never ending thing with me because I don't like to hear any noise when the cars go over those spots. It bugs me when I hear like a little tick or click. Yeah, I think I'm going to work on those joints again a little bit more. I'm going to move the camera over here a little bit so you guys. I know this might be a little boring, so I totally understand if you don't want to watch me try and adjust my track. I have not, Adam. I was actually thinking of either widening these, like maybe put another half, maybe cut these in half and make it a little wider. I don't know how my DeFalcos would do in a little bit wider. Because you can see it's not off by a ton. I mean, it's just I think if I did another half of the white connectors, or whatever you want to call these spacers, it would probably be wide enough for this. But from what I was reading on OS3's site, they did say to kind of be careful and not hit this because you don't want to move it and take it out of tune. So I'm worried about, even if it was wide enough, constantly trying to put this in the holder and banging this blue. I don't even know what this is, to be honest with you, what this little blue contraption is that acts as the wiper. Um, it's literally got like two wires soldered to it that go in and route up to the board. So, you know, as you squeeze the trigger, and they have this all mounted and set, the proper location based on the trigger location. So you don't want to hit that. So I'm kind of leery of constantly trying to put it in a holder anyway. I've been just getting used to setting it down gently with that blue thing sitting up like that. But I am going to go under my track for a second. Too small.
Yellow flag.
Um, to be honest with you, Luke, no, I am guilty of actually not really seeing what's out there in the routed track um, space. I started buying Viper cars and really got into the Vipers, and then I started looking at their tracks and watching them building them and people racing on them and looking at them on their track kits on their site, and I just kind of pulled the trigger on. I picked this particular size track because it was the biggest one I could fit in my garage, but I did not actually shop around and check other manufacturers of routed tracks. I did after the fact, and I think Viper was the most affordable of the one. There's not really a lot of them out there, maybe three or four people that make them. Um, But I don't regret the purchase. I think Viper makes a pretty good product, and back when I bought this kit, it was $999. So at the time, it was under a grand for the. Well, after I bought the timing system and everything else and built the table, I probably have closer to 1,500 in this track. Now, just the kit alone is $1,500 because they've raised their price quite a bit. But yeah, Terry and Dan, I guess when Dan came up with the idea for the Viper V1, yeah, he worked with Terry on designing and kind of building that car. And yeah, Terry and Dan worked pretty closely. And I know that Terry's a reseller of everything Viper on his site as well. I am gonna go under my table for a minute because I want to loosen the bolt. So I got to go under there with my tools here, and I have a lag a lag bolt on either side that holds the tables together. I'm gonna loosen them up because I want to try and adjust these joints a little bit more. I'm not happy with how they are. So. This is the part I don't like. I don't like having to go under my table. All right, I got that side loose. I know, Adam, I would love to go to Viper's store or, location, see them build their tracks, and they have a lot of tracks there you could actually race on. I just want to see if I can get this track a little bit more level. I'm gonna go around and loosen the other side as well. Ugh, what a pain in the butt. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign off for now and continue playing around with trying to level out my joints here on the track. So I know it's pretty boring to watch. So. A good hiding place, right? All right, guys, I'll talk with you guys later. Thanks for stopping by.